And a very warm welcome. You are watching JanataTelevision and this is the English Bulletin with me, Anustha Acharya. The top stories first. Nepal is in most of the local units, Balansha maintains lead in PMC. Discussion on priorities of Appropriation Bill completes. MP suggests government to control foreign capital flows. Rape victim speaks on social media after 8 years of silence, accuses Manoj Pandey as the culprit. Sri Lankan Prime Minister warns of a food crisis after ban on chemical fertilizers. Food services worsen Sri Lankan crisis. And ANFA has finalized Nepal's football team for Asia Cup qualifiers. Final squad doesn't feature 10 senior players. And now the news in detail. The process of counting votes of a recently held local election is underway across the country. So far, Nepali Congress has emerged victorious in most of the contested areas, securing an overwhelming 303 seats. UML is distant second with 185 wins, followed by CPN Maoist Center securing victory in 117 local units. CPN Unified Socialist has just secured 16 seats in the local units, while JSP has won 23 seats. Among the 6 metropolitan cities, independent candidate Balen Shaha has been leading the vote count in Kathmandu metropolis since the beginning. As per the latest update, Shaha has secured 31,015 votes against 16,527 votes by his nearest rival Kesab Stapit of CPN UML. In other 5 metropolitan cities, coalition partners have been leading the vote count. Nepali Congress is ahead in 2 metropolitan cities, while Maoist, JSP and CPN Unified Socialist are ahead in 1 metropolis each. NC is leading in Lalitpur and Biratnagar, while Maoist is ahead in Bharatpur. Likewise, JSP is leading in Birganj and CPN Unified is ahead in Pokhara. Discussion on the principles and priorities of the Appropriation Bill for the fiscal year 2079 and 80 has been completed. During the discussion, the parliamentarians have emphasized on domestic production and suggested import substitution. In Friday's meeting, a discussion on the principles and priorities of the Appropriation Bill for the fiscal year 2079 and 80, CPN Maoist Center MP Parsaman Poon said that quality education should be provided in the country to prevent money from flowing out of the country for education. Stating that there is a problem in foreign exchange reserves when people go abroad to study, Poon said that foreign exchange reserves would be improved if there was quality education in the country.
24 अर्ब पुगेको छ शिक्षा क्षेत्रको लागि मात्रै पढ्न जानेहरूले लिएर जाने पैसा मात्रै विदेशी मुद्राको सञ्चितमा अलिकति समस्या त्यसले पनि पारेको छ भन्दा माध्यमिक तहमा हामी आत्मनिर्भर जस्तै भयौं गुणस्तरीय भयो हाम्रो अब विश्वविद्यालय स्तरको शिक्षाले गुणस्तरीय बनाउने बित्तिकै एक हाम्रो शिक्षाको गुणस्तर बढ्छ दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ हाम्रा विदेशी मुद्राको चाहिँ सञ्चित लगायत धेरै कुरा एकैसाथ सुधार गर्छ.
Similarly, Nepali Congress MP Gagan Kumar Thapa remarked that Nepal is a country that sells people and buys goods. Agricultural products have to be imported. Being an agricultural country, he stressed on the need to reduce imports.
नेपाल वास्तवमा भन्ने भने मान्छे बेच्ने माल सामान किन्ने देश भएको छ. मान्छे बेच्ने माल सामान किन्ने त्यति नैमा हाम्रो घर धन्दा चलेको छ. हामी कृषि प्रधान देश भन्छौं तर आज बेलुका गएर हामीले आफ्नो भान्सा हेर्यो भने हाम्रो बारीको कुरा एकदमै थोरै सबै कुरा विदेशबाट आएको कुरा हाम्रो भान्सामा पाक्ने सबै कुराहरू विदेशबाट आएर र साँझ हामी कृषि प्रधान देश हो भनेर बस्ने हाम्रो अवस्था छ.
MP Thapa also urged the finance minister to arrange the budget to promote Nepali industry. Similarly, CPN UML MP Rajendra Prasad Gautam said that the principle of the appropriation bill presented by the finance minister was not clear. He said smuggling has increased in the country and capital is going outside of the country.
कारण यो विनियोजन विधेयकको सिद्धान्त पनि स्पष्ट छैन बाटो पनि स्पष्ट छैन कुन बाटो हिँड्ने हो प्रधानमन्त्रीजीको बजेट सिद्धान्त नीति र कार्यक्रम र अर्थमन्त्रीजीको बजेट सिद्धान्त कार्यक्रम र नीतिमा नै आधारभूत रूपमा मतभिन्नता र विपरीत सिद्धान्तको जगमा उभिएको छ। त्यसैले प्रस्तुत प्राथमिकता र सिद्धान्तहरू सुस्पष्ट छैनन् भन्ने मेरो आफ्नो भनाइ छ।
Stating that the government has not been able to replace the import, Gautam added that the import of betel nut, chilies and other commodities has been allowed with the involvement of Prime Minister and the Finance Minister. The Foreign Employment Office Kathmandu has launched online service for all kinds of labour permits from yesterday. A report. Now, anyone going abroad for foreign employment can take labour permit through online system, the state-owned national news agency RSS reported. This has effectively ended the need to physically visit the office to take labour permits. From now on, the new system will be applicable for both individuals and institutional labour permits as well as renewal of labour permits. The Foreign Employment Office had started issuing institutional labour permits through online system almost a month ago. Similarly, renewal of labour permit through online system was initiated in January. The recent change in service delivery has largely reduced the number of service seekers who used to be present in large numbers of the office until some time ago. Office Chief Ramesh Aryal informed that the labour permit service has gone online as per directive of the Labour Ministry. Such decision was taken to facilitate both the service seekers and the service provider, said Aryal. According to RSS, a total of 167,000 persons are provided labour permit during last fiscal year, while more than 500,000 people have been granted labour permit in the first 10 months of the current fiscal year. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back. After the break, we continue with other national news. The government yesterday confirmed 12 new cases of COVID-19 across the country. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, the number of active cases of COVID-19 has dropped to 150 after 9 people recovered from the disease. So far, a total of 979,040 people have tested positive for the virus in Nepal, while 966,938 people have already recovered. No new death from the virus was reported yesterday. The death toll from the virus remains constant at 11,951. Nepal is currently among top 65 countries affected by coronavirus. USA tops the list with 84.79 million cases, followed by India with 43.13 confirmed cases. The virus has infected more than 525.53 million people worldwide and has claimed over 6.29 million lives. As the result of the local elections held on May 13 continue to come out, the atmosphere in the country is still conducive to elections. Not only the leaders and activists of the political parties, but also the general public's attention has been drawn to the election environment. But a few days ago on social media, a young woman made public the incident of sexual abuse that she had experienced 8 years ago, which has shocked everyone. According to the victim, a man named Manoj Pandey raped the victim in 2014 after mixing alcohol in lemonade. The victim was sexually abused for 6 months. A 16-year-old girl who wanted to make her future in the field of art, just beginning the step of life, the young woman's dream was shattered before it came true. Beauty contests are a form of violence in itself, even if a woman has never experienced any kind of physical, mental or verbal violence. The victim, who posted the video up to part 20 through social media, has dared to speak after 8 years. After the videos come out, some people have expressed their commitment to help her on social media, and some have asked her to show them why she has not spoken for so long. There are many people who say that those who want to come out in the field of modeling or those who have come must experience all this. Personal relationships, offices, colleges, everywhere women of all ages have come and they are going through all these pains. We have all thought about what the colorful world look like on the outside. The government is preparing to bring budget for the coming fiscal year 2079 and 80. Stakeholders are being consulted on issues that need to be raised in the crisis-ridden economy, budget, policies and programs, while labor issues and employment are also being raised. A report. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Finance is busy preparing the budget for the coming fiscal year. Earlier, the Finance Minister had submitted a proposal in the Parliament on Tuesday on the scope of work and objectives of the forthcoming budget, except for the tax. Leaders and MPs of various parties are continuing to give their views and suggestions on the proposal. At the same time, there is strong demand for addressing the issues of labor in the forthcoming policies and programs and budget related to the working class and labor, who are the warriors and witnesses of every change in the country.
खास गरिकन सोझै भन्नुपर्ने हुन्छ, अप्ठ्यारो मान्नु पर्दैन। आज जीवन निर्वाह गर्न पुग्ने पारिश्रमिक नहुँदाखेरि वास्तवमा चाहिँ नि श्रमिकहरूको अवस्था नाजुक छ। बिलो पोभर्टीमा छन्, काम त गरिरहेका छन्, तर के छ भने न्यून पारिश्रमिक, न्यून तलब भत्ता छ। त्यसैले हामी पहिलो माग के गर्न चाहन्छौँ भनेदेखि जीवन धान्न पुग्ने खालको पारिश्रमिक, कम्तीमा 30,000बाट यो पारिश्रमिकको चाहिँ के छ निर्धारण गर्नुपर्छ भन्ने मागलाई हामीले आजको यो फोरम मार्फत उठाउँदै हामी सरकारसम्म माग लिएर जाने तहमा गइरहेका छौँ। र
Even though every government has been making socialism its main slogan since the rise of the republic, political parties have not been able to focus much on these issues of low-wage workers and workers belonging to different professionals, whether in the country or abroad. In order to address these issues effectively in the policy and program of the government, various points have been suggested in the form of working paper.
कार्यक्रम र बजेटमा श्रमिकका विशेष एजेन्डा 4 कृषि उत्पादनको बिक्रीको प्रत्याभूति। हाम्रा श्रमिकहरू विदेश जानुको मूल कारण कृषि नाफामूलक भएन, लगानी पनि उड्दैन, बिक्दा पनि बिक्दैन। जतिखेर किसानहरूले चाहिँ टमाटर उत्पादन गर्छन् हाम्रो लालबन्दी सर्लाहीतिरको, अनि सिजनमा चाहिँ 5 रुपैयाँ किलो बिक्दैन, अनि त्यो चाहिँ संरक्षित गर्ने त्यसलाई चाहिँ सुरक्षित गर्ने व्यवस्था नहुँदाखेरि 5 रुपैयाँ किलो बेचेर 2 महिनापछि आफैले चाहिँ खानुपर्दा 60 रुपैयाँ किलो 120 रुपैयाँ किलो किन्नुपर्ने जुन स्थिति छ त्यसलाई अन्त्य गर्नुपर्दछ।
Emphasis should be given to make the forthcoming budget productive, and for that all kinds of forces and resources should be mobilized to the maximum limit.
हामी चाहिँ नि कृषिको मात्रै पनि विकास गर्न सक्छौँ। उद्योग कसरी विकास गर्ने, उद्योग विकास गरिरहँदाखेरि हामीले जबसम्म राष्ट्रिय उद्योग धन्दाहरू विकास गर्न सक्दैनौँ, हाम्रो देशमाथि आधारित उद्योगहरू, हाम्रो देशका कच्चा पदार्थ साधन स्रोतहरूमाथि आधारित उद्योगहरू, तबसम्म हाम्रो राष्ट्रिय उद्योग बन्न सक्दैन, मुलुक औद्योगिकरणतर्फ पनि जान सक्दैन। त्यो भनेको के हो त? हामीसँग कृषिजन्य उद्योगहरू अनेकन उद्योगहरू हामी बनाउन सक्छौँ। त्यस्तै गरेर हामीले वनजन्य उद्योगहरू बनाउन सक्छौँ। त्यसै गरेर हामीले चाहिँ नि विभिन्न ढङ्गका जस्तो पर्यटनजन्य उद्योगहरू बनाउन सक्छौँ, खानीजन्य उद्योगहरू बनाउन सक्छौँ, हैन, जलजन्य उद्योगहरू बनाउन सक्छौँ। यस्ता उद्योगहरू हाम्रा राष्ट्रिय उद्योगहरू हुन्छन्। ती उद्योगहरूलाई पनि हामीले यी तीनटै क्षेत्रबाट विकास गर्न सक्यौँ भने मात्रै राष्ट्रिय अर्थतन्त्र र राष्ट्रिय औद्योगिकरणको जग बस्छ।
Employment and productivity need to be increased to make economic leaps. If the opportunity, social security, along with the fair price of labor is provided, these things are not impossible. For this, the government should increase the management of the labor sector and necessary policies in the program of the forthcoming budget. And now the news from economic front. As soon as the Indian government imposed a ban on the exports of wheat, its price skyrocketed in the international market. Ironically, Nepali farmers were forced to sell wheat at cheaper rates when the price has been soaring worldwide. Due to the government's failure to announce support price at the right time and traders arbitrarily fixing the price of the farmers' producer, Nepali farmers were obliged to sell wheat at cheap prices even when prices were skyrocketing in the international market. India banned exports of wheat last Friday. According to international media, the price of wheat went through the roof in the world market, marking an increase of 60% of this year alone. According to the traders, the price of wheat flour even in India went up from rupees 2,280 to rupees 3,300 per quintal. No matter how much the price goes up in the world market, Nepali farmers are still devoid from any benefits. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back. Now the international news. Sri Lanka's Prime Minister has warned of a food shortage as the island nation battles a devastating economic crisis and promises to buy enough fertilizer for the next planting season to boost harvest, as reported by Al Jazeera. A decision in April last year by President Gotabaya Rajapaksa to ban all chemical fertilizers drastically cut crop yields, and although the government has reversed the ban, no substantial imports have yet taken place. While there may not be time to obtain fertilizer for this Yala season, steps are being taken to ensure adequate stocks for the Maha season, Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe said in on a message on Twitter late on Thursday. Russia will cut flows of natural gas to Finland on Saturday, Finnish state-owned energy wholesaler Gazprom has said. Gazprom said on Friday that it had been informed by Russian state-owned energy corporation Gazprom that flows would be halted. The Finnish Prime Minister company said that the move by Russia would not cause disruption in supplies. It is highly regrettable that natural gas supplies under our supply contract will now be halted. Gazprom CEO Mika Viljanen said in on a statement, however, we have been carefully preparing for this situation and provided that there will be no disruption in the gas transmission network, we will be able to supply all our customers with gas in the coming months, he said. Earlier on Friday, Finland announced a 10-year agreement with US-based Accelerate Energy to lease of floating storage and delivery vessels to provide liquefied natural gas to the region. While the majority of gas used in Finland comes from Russia, the fossil fuel only accounts for between 5 to 8% of the country's annual energy consumption, as reported by Al Jazeera. You are watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. The final squad of Nepal does not feature 11 senior players, including regular captain Kiran Chemjung. A report. Final squad of Nepal does not feature 11 senior players, including regular captain Kiran Chemjung. Chief coach Abdullah Al-Mutari on Friday announced the 23-member final squad for the qualifiers to be held in June. 10 senior players who were forced to leave the training camp due to altercation with the chief coach have been excluded from the team. Captain Kiran Chemjung was outside the country when the dispute broke out on April 26, but he had sided with the players by posting on social media posts in support of the players. Chemjung was in the Maldives playing professional football in the island nation. Chief coach Al-Mutari said long before the escalation that Nepal is not capable to qualify for the Asian Cup. During the training for the qualifiers, he had an altercation with stand-in skipper Rohit Chand over the players' accommodation. Altogether, 10 players undergoing training for the AFC Asian Cup qualifiers were allegedly forced to leave the camp on April 26 due to the ill treatment by the chief coach. The dispute erupted after the chief coach ordered stand-in skipper Rohit Chand to leaving the training camp before he demanded players to be kept in a hotel instead of Enfa hostel. Other 9 players who tried to discuss the issues with the coach were also told to leave the camp. The dispute flared up after the 9 senior players left the camp, saying that the players were ill-treated for raising genuine concern. Chief coach then announced a new team with 17 new players. A probe committee under the coordination of Nepalese army retreated Major General Victor Rana on Wednesday handed over a 28-page report in connection to the incident to ANFA General Secretary Indraman Tuladar. However, Chief Coach made the final squad public as the report of the probe committee has not been made public. The Nepal final squad include Deep Karki, Vishal Sunar and Tikendra Thapa as goalkeepers, Vikas Khawas, Vikas Tamang, Gautam Shrestha, Ranjan Gurung, Siva Gurung and Suman Aryal as defenders. Akash Buda Magar, Eric Bister, Nirkumar Rai, Pujan Uparkoti, Roshan Rana Magar, Santosh Tamang, Sese Hang Angdembe, Sunil Bal and Surajju Thakuri as midfielders, and Ayush Khalan, Sarsan Gurung, George Prince Karki, Manish Dangi and Navayuk Shrestha as forward. Real Madrid ended their triumphant league campaign with a draw against Real Betis in their final match before facing Liverpool in the Champions League final. Carlo Ancelotti named his strongest 11 for the game between the La Liga champions and the Copa del Rey winners. Karim Benzema twice went close to closing scoring but was unable to add to his 27 league goals for the season. Gareth Bale, who is said to leave Real Madrid, was not involved in the game. Ancelotti's team wrapped up the last month with 4 games to spare, but they were unable to end the domestic campaign on a winning note. They managed just 3 attempts on target during the 90 minutes, while Betis went close when 40-year-old substitute Joaquin fired narrowly over on a 600th La Liga appearance. Real Madrid, who finished the league season on 86 points from 38 games, now have a full week to prepare for the Champions League final in Paris on 28 May. Real Betis are 5th in the table on 65 points, although Real Sociedad can draw level on points if they defeat Atletico Madrid at home on Sunday. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. Nepali Congress emerges victorious in most of the local units. Palan Shah maintains lead in KMC. Discussion on priorities of Appropriation Bill completes. MP suggests government to control foreign capital flows. Rape victim speaks on social media after 8 years of silence, accuses Manoj Pandey as the culprit. Sri Lankan Prime Minister warns of food crisis after ban on chemical fertilizers. Food shortages worsen Sri Lanka crisis. And ANFA has finalized Nepal's football team for Asia Cup qualifiers. Final squad does not feature 11 senior players. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamarta.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.